Hi, my name is Aaron and this is my show, Re-Education. And today I'm going to talk a little bit more about the logic behind being an anarchist. Now, like I've said before in previous videos, I don't just come to conclusions at a whim. I always try to use logic, reason, and evidence. It's very important to me deciding basically everything in my life. Now, I will admit a lot of the time my channel has been dedicated to dick jokes, but throughout the course of a certain amount of time, I've tried to go a little bit more towards the logic side and a little bit away from the dick joke side, which has very much alienated my audience, and I've seen incredible subscriber drops in the last few days. But honestly, that doesn't bother me at all because I wasn't using my channel for anything before. It just kind of fell into disarray, and I can't do Lego Darwin anymore because, well, it takes like 2,000 hours to produce an episode, and it's just not feasible. I'm a grown man. I have commitments, for fuck's sakes. I have a goddamn job. Like I said before, I've always used logic, reason, and evidence to determine any position that I've ever held. It was the same thing with atheism. It's the exact same thing with this. And if a lot of people don't like that I've decided to go down that path, that's fine. It's not for you. I totally understand that. But my methodology of going about coming to these conclusions has never changed. I simply look at the facts and make a conclusion from there, and that's what I think everybody should do. And if you look into the facts of Anarcho-Communism, it is the most logical position to hold. Period. Now, very briefly, Anarcho-Communism means anarcho, the abolishment of unnecessary hierarchies, and communism, the idea of worker control of the means of production. That basically means the workers are their own bosses. So I don't believe in unjustified hierarchies, and I believe that the workers should be their own bosses. I don't see where that is any... I don't see how that is an illogical position or an untenable position to hold. It's the most tenable. So far, throughout history, all we have ever seen is dictatorships and leaderships that were unjustified, always falling into the same exact patterns of massive inequality, massive unrest, complete failures of systems. Constantly. It was the same thing with monarchy, it was the same thing with fascism, and it was the same thing with regular old-fashioned communism. You know, the good old-fashioned totalitarian kind, and not the peaceful libertarian kind that I'm pushing for. When we were first moving away from monarchies, people were screaming, well, what are we going to do? We can't lead ourselves, we need to have a king. Clearly, you didn't need a king. But what ended up happening is we replaced the king with a president. Well, look at how well that turned out. We have massive inequality, civil unrest, mortality rates are rising every single year. And this cycle happens over and over again. It's even known as a boom-bust cycle, a bull-bear market. They trade on the fact that it's going to rise and fall. The idea is to make money off of people's misery, and that is completely ridiculous. You need a system. You need a system that incentivizes humanity over profit. What does incentivizing profit do other than destroy the world? And it's all based on such irrational nonsense. There's no real way that you can even put an actual value on a commodity. The exact same goods, using the exact same labor, are wildly different prices throughout every different country that you look at. In India, you could make a shirt for 8 cents, whereas in America, it costs you $30. That doesn't make sense. That's not logical. It's honestly as clear as the nose on your face. It's just exploitation. It's modern day slavery. It's called wage slavery. In the 1920s, we weren't afraid to call it things like that because that's what it is. There is no moral, logical, or reasonable explanation as to why someone would have to work more than one full-time job to be able to support themselves. This is as bad as it's been since the Gilded Age, or worse. And here's the thing is a lot of people think that you can fix capitalism or you can give it a few tweaks and you can make it better, but the result is always the same. When you have a dictatorship, you only ever create more dictatorships. You can't have capitalism and just have it be a little softer capitalism. The only defendable position that you can hold is anarcho-communism. It's the only defendable position in this society that you can hold. You can debate me on this, and I will be glad to debate you. But there is literally no other option right now. Oh, that came off really harsh. I love all you guys. I really do. This has been Re-Education. My name is Aaron. Thanks for watching.